Welcome, everybody, to Brockton High Football. We're at beautiful Rocky Marciano Stadium. We've got the #1 ranked defending Division I Super Bowl champion Brockton Boxers going up against the 4-2 Leominster Blue Devils. And Brockton's coming off a big win against Durfee High School, 34-13. I've got Brian Madden and Peter Zembor with me here this evening. And Brian, again, Brockton coming off a big win against the Big Three opponent, Durfee High School, and that was a big win. One more step closer to the playoffs.
Yes, they're a third of the way there or half of the way there because if they are able to defeat New Bedford, they'll be fine as far as going on to the Super Bowl because their record is outstanding up to this point at 7-0. Durfee challenged them a little bit more than I think they should have been able to. Brockton should have been able to dominate them with force, but turnovers kept Durfee in the game. Pete?
Well, one thing that's interesting about tonight's game is that aside from postseason play, Brockton generally will not play teams such as Leominster and teams that Leominster play, and vice versa. Leominster coming from central Massachusetts, Brockton from southeastern Massachusetts. It'll be interesting to see what the opposition is like in other parts of the state, and it'll be a true test before Brockton defeats New Bedford, which we all assume they will, and goes on to the playoffs. This may be a sign of what's to come.
Well, they've already had multiple, because their schedule is one of the toughest schedules in this division as far as the opponents they face. Every opponent they face is the leader of their division outside of like Barnstable and a couple other, in the in-division or in interleague play teams such as New Bedford. But and there you see the Big Three stats right now. Brockton is 7-0, New Bedford 3-3, and Durfee a surprising 5-1. But Brockton has just been a powerhouse as far as dominating all the weaker teams up to this point.
And as we mentioned, Brockton annihilating Durfee last week, 34-13, and it should be noted that Durfee's only 2 touchdowns came off of Brockton turnovers with inside the 10-yard line. So it's not like Durfee scored 13 points. It's almost as if Brockton scored 13 points for them, but Brockton had so much breathing room on that one. Yeah,
there was one key play. Actually, the first turnover was Aaron Richardson, and I'm not picking on you, Aaron, at all, but Aaron Richardson fumbled the ball at about the 5 or 7 yard line, and it bounced right up into what was that kid's name? Begins with a P. Because there's two. There's Powers, and then there's the other kid. But it was the other kid, not Powers, that the ball bounced right into his hands, and he, scampered 8 yards untouched into the end zone.
Okay, we're getting ready to start this evening. Beautiful evening.
And Brockton averaging 12.4 yards per kickoff return. So Brockton, not that bad when it comes to kickoff returns. However, we've had some big kickoff returns called back due to penalties and whatnot.
It's a beautiful fall evening here at Rocky Marciano Stadium. Leominster will kick off to Brockton from left to right. Leominster in their white jerseys and blue pants. Brockton in their home black jerseys and red pants. And let's get ready for some football. It's a nice kick, a little short, taken at about the 18-yard line by Brockton, and he's got an opening out there. That looks like Corey Brown to the 40. He could go all the way. He got a nice block by Dallin, and it's a touchdown. Corey Brown with about an 82-yard kickoff return.
And I did mention some got called back from penalties earlier in the season, and I think I see a white flag.
No, that's not a white flag. That's the T.
And there's no penalties, and
no
that's going to
penalties.
count. So that's a good sign for the Brockton special teams. No penalty, and the touchdown counts. An electrifying 82-yard kickoff return by Corey Brown, the senior.
And the punter tried to, or actually the kicker rather, tried to kick it to Aaron Richardson. And I'm not picking on you, Aaron, really, I'm not. Tried to kick it away from Corey Brown because they know that he is a threat. And Corey smartly ran over and got the ball and then just followed his blockers running up the left side.
So a quick 6-0 lead. Paul Branco out on the field to kick the extra point for Brockton.
And that was an outstanding run and outstanding special teams play.
And a great block by
Nate Dellin.
Nate Dellin right there at the end to put the last man on turf
Yes.
to let Corey run in there for a touchdown.
And it was very well structured as far as the blocking. There were no well, there's the extra point. The extra point is good.
And the kick is good.
Because we have seen numerous times where there's been an infraction away from the play that has brought the ball back. And smartly this time, there were no infractions. There weren't any holdings. There weren't any blocks in the back. There was none of that. Nate Thelen made sure that the block he made was a good legal block, which freed up Corey for the touchdown.
And now we're going to look
here's
at
the replay. And then you see Corey. You saw the tail end of Corey getting over there. And, oh, that's Margison he stepped in front of, actually. I'm sorry. And there you see that block right there. And that just opened up the lane for Corey to just run all the way to the end zone.
And notice that not one white shirt touched Corey Brown for that entire run. And 13 seconds into the game, Brockton welcomes Leominster to Brockton with a touchdown. And with that, we'd like to welcome our viewers in Leominster, Massachusetts.
Yes.
Viewing this game on Leominster television, as we're not normally seen there.
And like you said, Peter, not one Leominster, it didn't look like one Leominster play a touchdown. And you saw the speed that Corey Brown had on that particular play. And Coach Steve Winowski for Durfee High said the reason that Brockton beat us was because of their size and speed. And there was a good example right there. Brockton kicks off. And Leominster takes it about the 10.
And this kid right here is a threat to run it back as well. Number 2, which is Jonathan Hernandez. From what I understand, we have some scouts here from Milford who will be the opposition for Leominster next week. And they said that this kid, number 2, is one of the fastest kids in the state. And he's always a threat to run it back as well.
So 1st and 10 at about the 28-yard line for Leominster. And Leominster calls a timeout. There was something that they did that the looks like the quarterback wasn't in yet.
Yeah, and just real quick, I want to just mention about Leominster. You know, right now they're 4-2. I would think that their 2 losses were against Everett and St. John's. But last year they were 7-4, and I'll continue after this play. Go ahead.
Again, 1st and 10 for Leominster Blue Devils. Straight ahead quarterback sneak. And he gets a couple of yards there. That's playing quarterback is number 22, I believe.
It will be interesting to see how Leominster is tough mentally after Brockton scores a touchdown the very first play of the game in such spectacular fashion.
Exactly, Peter. Right now they're stunned a little bit. You can tell just by that particular play.
Yes.
They're just shell-shocked at the moment. They know they're playing the number 1 team in Eastern Massachusetts, defending Super Bowl champs, so they're a little nervous. 2nd and about 8 for the Leominster Blue Devils. And he was looking to pass, but he's going to run with the football, and he gets about a couple of yards.
And outstanding defense there by Brockton. He had a lot of time in the backfield, you know, looking for an open receiver. Didn't see one, and smartly opted to bring it down and try and pick up some yards on the ground. Because actually, quarterback is one of their strengths, as well as running backs, because they are a running team, as Brockton has been in so many years in the past.
So we got a 3rd down and about 5 yards to go for Leominster. I formation in the backfield. And they hand it straight off, and the ball carrier tripped.
Yeah, Hernandez went down immediately after he took the carry, before he was even touched.
So that'll bring up a punting situation for the Blue Devils.
And Corey Brown once again back to return.
And Nate Thelen are back there. Nate Thelen had a big game last week. 3 receptions for 132 yards, and he had a 65-yard pass play from Resende. And Nate muffs the catch, but he holds on to it, and the whistle's blown, so it'll be Brock's ball at about the 35-yard line, 36-yard line.
Yes, and actually Ryan Dorothy was very close to a block on that punt. He just missed it, just outside of his outstretched fingers.
8:46 left in this first quarter. Early on here, Brockton with a 7-0 lead.
And it's apparent that Brockton is really focused, starting focused, and really playing aggressively because they're trying to come in and knock Leominster out of the game very, very quickly.
Jesse Resende at quarterback. Play fake, looks, fires deep, has the tight end, and Doherty catches it, and he's in Blue Devil territory. Nice pass because it was right there in the breadbasket.
And notice the height advantage Doherty had over his defender. That really worked out to help him there.
There you go, number 89, Brian Doherty, the tight end.
Yeah, that was an excellent pass by Jesse Resende. I mean, Doherty was open initially. Here you're going to see it on replay. Jesse drops back all the time in the world. He just lofts it. Perfect. Right into Brian Doherty's hands. You don't see it here in the play.
I can't hear you guys.
And Junior Penn is taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Nice penetration by the defensive line of Leominster.
Taken down for about a 2-yard loss.
So it'll be 2nd down and 12 for the Boxers.
The 2nd down and 12.
A little breakdown in blocking there on that particular play as the Leominster lineman got in there quickly to take down Junior Penn. I formation in the backfield, 2 wide receivers at the top of your screen. And a little pitch out there, and it's fumbled by Junior Penn, but he picks it back up. But there's about 4 or 5 Leominster defenders there to bring him back. A big loss there of about 10 yards.
Yeah, and Junior Penn was on top of things as far as once he mishandled the ball, able to get over and pick it up quickly and prevent the turnover.
Yeah, this is going to bring up a marathon of a 3rd down for the Brockton Boxers. And one thing that we've noted for the Brockton Boxers throughout the season is that they have been sloppy at times despite their obvious overpowering of their opponents. And they get off this game, big return for a touchdown, big passing play to start off their first offensive drive, and this is what turns out.
3rd and about 24 for the Boxers. They're at the 50-yard line. Resende drops back in the pocket, throws deep. Nate Dellin, and it's intercepted by the Leominster defender. That's number 20.
And, yeah, that's number Ryan Leprad. But it appeared that Thelen had position and then just overran the defender, enabling him to get between him and the ball. Here you're going to see it on the replay.
And going back to what I was saying earlier, Ryan Doherty had a clear height advantage over his defender. If you take a look at
and Thelen does here as well.
Well, not really. They're more or less evenly sized.
That was excellent coverage there by the defender.
Who's that, 20? He's 5'7". And Thelen's like 6 foot or more. Yeah, but Leprad is 5'7", and Thelen is 6 foot.
Well, he's listed as 6 foot on the roster. I would argue that Brockton's maybe doing that as an intimidation factor because I don't think he's quite 6 feet tall.
But that was great coverage by the defensive back. He was right in front of him. You have to give him credit for making good coverage.
I'm not taking anything away from him. He's still 5'7".
2nd and about 2 yards to go for the Leominster Blue Devils. And they hand it off to their halfback. He breaks open for a 1st down and more. That was Hernandez.
Hernandez is the kid to watch, from what I understand. He's very fast, very quick, very athletic. So let's see what his numbers are at the end of the day, how he does.
Yeah, that play right there was a sign of the Jonathan Hernandez that we were talking about at the top of the broadcast.
Well, brings up 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. 5:58 here in the 1st quarter. This is Brockton Community Access Sports. I formation for the Blue Devils of Leominster. And they hand it off straight ahead to their fullback for about a 2-yard gain.
And something I want to mention about Brockton, as far as the standings are, they're, of course, ranked number 1. However, they only have one player that's listed as a scoring leader, and that's Jesse Resende, and he's barely made that list with 7 touchdowns. But it just shows you the versatility and how much range the Brockton Boxers has as far as they don't have any one person that they have to stand on.
It's a play fake. Quarterback keeps it, Looks downfield, and it's almost intercepted by Nate Thelen. He went up high for that. Nice play by the defensive back.
Sure, Nate Thelen would have liked to grab that one, redeeming himself for earlier. Not that that interception was his fault by any means.
Yeah, and I think had he been 6 foot, he might have caught it. Now, let me stop playing. You're going to see the replay. You're going to see the fake. And you see Hernandez, and then you can see Nate Thelen just go up, and it just bounces off his hands. He's not able to bring it in. And,
Great effort by the senior.
Excellent defense.
Brings up a 3rd and about a long 7, let's call it, for Leominster. Ball is placed at about the 38-yard line. Quarterback drops back, fires in the middle, has a man open. His tight end, number 88. He breaks free down to the 40. He's got Nate Thelen to beat, but Nate pushes him out of bounds at about the 31-yard line.
And that was Jonathan Rodriguez. And if you take a look at it, Jonathan Rodriguez was literally standing there for, I'd say, a good 3 to 4 seconds before the quarterback passed it to him. No one was on Rodriguez.
Yeah, he was wide open, and he was, once he got the ball, those yards after the catch, that yak was outstanding.
Nice pass by Dean Bozee. Here it is on replay.
And there you're going to see he's
there.
wide open, not a deep defender within 5 yards of him.
Yeah, he had time to stop and take a coffee break.
Back to live action. Dean pitches it out to his tailback, and he breaks open for a couple of yards.
Once again, that was Hernandez.
With the carry.
Yeah, picked up about 5 yards on the run.
About 5 yards.
That was a great pass by Dean Bozee, I believe it's pronounced, to his tight end, as he just drilled it right in there on that previous play. Right now it's 2nd down and about 5 yards. Let's call it 6. 2nd and 6. Ball is at about just inside the 30, about the 28-yard line for Leominster in Brockton territory. Boise hands it off straight ahead to his tailback. He has an open field. He's going to go in for a touchdown. That's number 2. Hernandez just blew right through there and blew right by the linebackers and defensive back and scores the touchdown with 4:04 here in the first quarter and brings the Blue Devils within 1 point.
And it appears that Milford was right. You know, the scouts for Milford. He is the kid to watch. He's definitely got the speed and the quickness, because once he hit that hole, he kicked it into overdrive and just went untouched into the end zone. Excellent run there by Hernandez. 5'10" junior.
You know,
and we have a timeout. Excuse me, we have a timeout by Leominster. And that's the 2nd timeout here in the first quarter, Peter.
earlier on, I commented on the mental toughness would be tested for Leominster after what Brian referred to as the shell shock of that first play with Corey Brown. Okay, shell shock. Hey, whoever said it. After the shell shock, we'll say it once more time, of that first run back by Corey Brown, and you can definitely see that they are showing some character here and they're bouncing back early. But Brockton kind of reverse. Sometimes it seems like they get a little bit of breathing room and they kind of take a series off or two.
Yeah, definitely Peter pointed out there in that first offensive possession where they Junior Penn kind of fumbled it. They kind of just was lackluster. I don't know, mentally they thought they was going to blow Leominster out with that first play of the game. But a lot of credit, like you said, goes to Leominster for showing their character, for getting their poise together and coming back down to score.
Yeah, and that's something that Brockton needs to stop doing. They need to stop taking series off after they score, because you know, as they get closer, once they get into the playoffs, they can't take any series off. They can't take any plays off. They need to stay focused for the full length of the game to ensure that they're putting their best effort out there.
You know, Brockton does tend to do that quite a bit, but then again, they always come out on top. They're 7-0 coming in this game. They always end up on top. They have a style like Muhammad Ali. Sometimes they just lean on the rope.
But you know, it's funny. Even though they're 7-0, the last three games, they have been picked to lose. They were picked to lose, you know, against last week against Durfee. They were picked to lose the week before that, and the week before that.
And the kickoff is muffed there by Marginson. And he picks it up at about the 2, looking for somewhere to run, and he's not going anywhere, and he's finally taken down inside the 5-yard line. Great coverage by Leominster, and that was just a muff kickoff.
And that was very, that wasn't a very smart play. Once Margerson picked that ball up, he's looking for holes, and he's trying to tiptoe. He needed to kick it into overdrive and just try and bounce it to the outside. You're going to see it right here. You know, he goes over and picks the ball up, and he should be running to his right. He should be running hard to his right, trying to get around and try and get out to the 10-yard line at least, instead of just standing there until he's tackled at the 4-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Boxers deep in their own territory. I formation out of backfield. They hand it off straight ahead to their tailback. And he gets a few yards there.
Junior Penn.
Little breathing room.
Taken down by Jonathan Rodriguez.
Situation not as tight for Brockton now. As you mentioned, they do have some breathing room. I would look for Nate Thelen because it seems like Leominster is giving Brockton receivers a lot of room, and I would say look for Thelen on a quick pass.
There you see the I formation in the backfield. Resende at quarterback. And he's going to keep it, goes around the left-hand side and gets close to a first down, but there's a flag on the play.
Oh, numerous
face
flags
mask.
flying.
You saw a face mask,
I
Brian?
saw a face mask just as he came around the corner.
Personal foul, and you're right, face mask on the defense. So that's a 15-yard penalty.
And now they have room to work with.
Exactly.
They're not pressured. If they want to pass it, they can pass it and not be concerned about a turnover deep down, in their own end zone or close to the end zone. So they have their full range of plays.
So the ball's placed at the 30-yard line of Brockton. 1st and 10 for the Boxers. One lone man in the backfield. And you've got Brown in motion. And Resende finds an opening. There he goes. He's got a first down and more. He could go all the way. He's going to go all the way, folks. Resende Gomes with a 70-yard touchdown run. Resende Gomes finds the right spot and just pushes it in for a touchdown.
And Resende Gomes is the leading rusher. Believe it or not, the quarterback is, he's a Michael Vick type quarterback. He is very exciting. He's very athletic. And when he sees an opening, with that option play is an excellent call for Resende, because here you see it right here. You see there's no players anywhere near him. And excellent block. Nate Thelen is always thinking defense as far as when he's on offense. When he sees the opportunity to make a key block, he is always in the picture. Excellent job by Nate Thelen and excellent job by Resende.
Kick is up and good. The point after, Paul Bronco.
And I think that series we just saw basically states our theory that we've been giving about the Brockton Boxers all season long. When they don't have the buffer zone of a 7-point lead, especially a 7-point lead coming off of the first play of the game, Brockton makes big plays and they get things done, as evidenced by Jesse Resende's run for a touchdown right there.
Yeah, and that was an outstanding run by Jesse. And excellent, the offensive line really did a great job giving him that initial hole, for him to pick up all those yards.
So Brockton counter punches with a 70-yard touchdown run by your quarterback, Jesse Resende. And the ball is in Leominster's court now. Let's see what they can do. So far, an exciting football game, and we're not even out of the first quarter, folks.
And that's what we like to see. It makes the chill just a little bit less.
And you know what else makes the chill a little bit less?
What's
The
that?
heating system here in the press box.
Oh, why'd you have to go there?
To make our cameraman jealous.
Don't tell them that, because they may want to come up here.
We can't have that.
Paul Branco will kick off for the Boxers. Another beautiful high kick taken at the 10. And that's number 21 for Leominster, and he's still on his feet. Great return.
And Miles, before you say this, I'm just going to say that I am looking forward to how you pronounce this gentleman's name.
Yes.
I'm not even going to try it.
I'm going to go with Outhay San Keen. Sang Keen. Outhay San Keen.
Sankeen, that's good enough.
And by the way, we're on in Leominster. Let's just apologize right now.
Oh, yes, because I'm looking at their roster, and you have some tricky names there, especially Michael and Anthony, the
brothers.
the Master of
Master
Pasqua.
Pasqua. But that does
Right.
not compare to Out High Sun Queen.
No, it
Yes.
doesn't. First handoff is no gain on the play as the Brockton defensive line stands up and doesn't allow anything. Brockton High's defensive line very strong. Bunch of young men.
Yeah, and there's some big boys.
Yep, there you got a good shot of them right there, Latrell Melton and company.
And they take up a lot of room.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball still at the 35-yard line of Leominster. 2 minutes left in this first quarter. 14-7, Brockton lead. Quarterback play fake, rolls to his left, looks downfield, has a man open, and he's hit by Nate Dellin just as he touched the ball. Nice play by Nate. And John Margerson right there, too.
And Nate Thelen is always in on the play as far as on the defense. Even defensively and offensively, he's always right in the picture as far as, helping out any way he can. Outstanding defense there by Nate.
Yeah, Coach Colombo said last week that Nate Dellin is emerging as one of the great weapons of Brockton on both sides of the ball, offense and defense.
And that's something that we've noticed for some time now, because every week we call his name at least 10 or 15 times throughout the game.
Quarterback drops back, looks, doesn't find anybody. He decides to run, and he's taken down from behind there by, who is that, number 83 for Brockton. That's Jean Noel, Joey Jean Noel, who came from behind and took him down.
And Gene Newell takes him down so hard, he's hurt a little bit as he's limping out there.
And there's the replay. And you're going to see, again, the defensive backs doing an outstanding job giving the quarterback no targets. And Joey G. Noel,
Here's the punt,
no one in the back. No one in the back.
and the ball rolls out of bounds at about the 24, 23-yard line of the boxes. So they'll take over with 1 minute, 9 seconds left in this first quarter.
And I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate the boxers for the soccer boxers for cruising to the championship, the Big Three championship yesterday with a 2-1 victory over Durfee.
In Durfee.
In Durfee.
So congratulations there to the boys soccer team.
And Brockton offense, 2005 total points scored 168, average per game 14 points per game, which is outstanding. That's an outstanding stat for high school football, scoring 24 points per game.
Yeah, I was going to say 14 points did seem a little bit low considering that Brockton beat Durfee 34-13, and they've had other blowouts throughout the season. It's beat Barnstable 42-15. I mean, this is a high-scoring offensive team, Brockton.
Yes, they are.
1st and 10 for the boxes. Ball looks like is at about the 23-yard line. And they give it straight ahead. And he's still going. That was Aaron Richardson with a big game for a first down.
And I want to commend Richardson for doing an outstanding job protecting the ball. As soon as he got the ball, he grabbed that ball and held it very close to his body, held it very tightly with two hands, as you're going to see right here. You're going to see him protect the ball. He's got a good, tight grip on it, and he never, ever gets lax while he's running. And there you see Hernandez, trying to rip the ball from his hands.
Great offensive line play right there as Aaron had a big hole. Little pitch out there to Nate Dellin. He's got one man to juke on, and he gets right by him with the speed. There he goes down the sideline, and he's finally taken out of bounds. As Nate Dellin, you just had an idea Nate was going to get past that one defender to get some extra yardage on that particular play.
Yes, and I think that's the first time this year that they've used Nate as a running back. But it just shows you have his athleticism and the amount of options they have with that kid.
So here come the Boxers, 1st and 10 in Leominster territory. One lone man in the backfield for the Boxers. Jesse Resende at quarterback. There goes Nate Dillon in motion, and Jesse keeps it. He's taken down hard by the Leominster linebacker there.
And that's Resende's 3rd rushing attempt on the game. And note about Jesse Resende, not only Brockton's quarterback, but also big in the rushing game, is he is their leading rusher.
Yes. Yes, he is.
And I'm sure he might even get over 100 yards rushing tonight, coming off of that big run he had earlier for a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm confident that he will. By the end of the game, he will have over 100 yards.
And that's the end of the first quarter. Brockton up 14-7, and they'll reverse sides. So far, an exciting football game with some big plays, Brian.
Yeah, excellent plays. Brockton is really showing their dominance as far as offensively, as far as moving the sticks, continuing to just move on down the field against Leominster. And Leominster shows that they also have a lot of athleticism. They're the leading team in their division, Central Mass, with the 4-2 record. They also face Fitchburg, St. John's, North Middlesex, Wachusett, Shrewsbury. But you know, they're looking forward to trying to get to the Super Bowl as well. Well, that's if Brockton is able to get there. Let's not put the...
Yeah, we can't look that far ahead. Brockton still does have New Bedford to get by, but New Bedford just at 500, and Brockton up to this point undefeated and leading at the moment. So let's hope.
One big game going on in another part of the state of Massachusetts is Everett against Waltham. Waltham is the foe for Brockton during the Thanksgiving Day game, and anything can happen on that game. So it'll be interesting to see how Waltham stacks up against Everett, who's also undefeated.
Yes.
And ranked number 2 behind Brockton in Eastern Mass football.
That's right. Waltham has always played us tough, whether up here or down there. Waltham is an outstanding program.
2nd down and about 7 for the Boxers. They're in Leominster territory. Resende keeps the ball, looks for an opening, has one. There he slips through, he's still slipping.
There's
He
his
could go all the
100
way,
yards.
folks, to the 5, touchdown.
And Brian, not
Resende.
only will he be over 100 yards for rushing this game, but he'll also have 2 rushing touchdowns. Jesse Resende showing his rushing skills early on in this game against Leominster.
Well, you know, I mentioned early in the game that Jesse Resende was barely among the scoring leaders with 7 touchdowns. But Jesse is trying to move up that stat very quickly.
And as you said earlier, also, he is a very Michael Vick-like player.
Yes, he
And
is.
he's showcasing that here tonight.
Paul Branco with the extra point. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good.
And Bronco last week, outstanding. Had a 38-yard, a 29 and a 36-yard
Field goal.
And
He had,
you know,
plus he had 4 extra point after.
yes, and 4 extra points. And you know, these extra points that he's kicking them well to the back of the track. You know, as the track goes around, he's kicking it about 30 or 40 yards every time he kicks an extra point. So he's got a powerful leg.
Yeah, Coach Peter Colombo was quoted as saying Paul is an exceptional high school kicker. I mean, I've never seen a high school kicker kick as well as Paul does.
And there's Coach Colombo right there.
Well, you can tell he's an exceptional kicker just by looking at the roster when his only position listed is kicker, because most of the time in high school sports, players play offense, defense, and special teams. When you got a guy in his specialties kicking, you don't know. Maybe someday he'll be playing on Sunday.
Guaranteed, Paul, I'm sure there's some scouts looking at, big-time scouts looking at Paul Branco and his exceptional ability to kick that football. And we wish him well wherever he goes next year.
Yeah, because that's one thing about the kicking position. You don't have to worry about, you know, getting too aggressive or like that, unless there's a run back or something like that. And Paul's the type of kicker that he's going to get in there and get dirty if someone does get past the special teams.
Beautiful
It
kick
gets to
by
him.
Paul, taken at about the 11 by Leominster and taken down out of bounds at about the 24, 25-yard line.
And excellent job there by the defense. on that special team play.
And take a look at Brockton, only allowing 11.1 points per game on average this season. So Brockton's defense definitely gets it done when it needs to be done.
And some of those 11 points were gifts.
1st and 10 for Leominster. There's a blitz. Quarterback rolls out. He's got pressure on him, and he just kind of throws it away.
And Johnny Ray Barnes was right in his face the entire time.
Yeah, Johnny Ray was in there, and then once he got away from Johnny Ray, Curtis Ushry, you know, as big as he is, he's quick. He was right on his tail.
Curtis Ushry, one of the defensive captains for Brockton.
And Curtis
And
Ushry, 5'10", 265 pounds. And don't let that 265 fool you. Here you're going to see the replay. And there you're going to see Johnny Ray Barnes right there. And then Curtis Ushry, look at him. He could breathe in on the back of the kid's neck.
And Latrell Melton was right in his face just as Curtis got over there. So he had a lot of Brockton boxers right on his tail. Right now there's a timeout with 10:35 on the clock. There you see Leominster's team rallied around their coach.
And notice there was 2 blockers in Johnny Ray Barnes' way. And he parted them like Moses parted the Red Sea right there to get in that quarterback's face.
Yeah, Johnny Ray Barnes, a lot of power there.
Well, we know you're going to be watching this here in watching this in Leominster, but I'm sorry, it's still going to have a boxer twist. It's
And there's our starting quarterback for the Boxers, Jesse Resende, who gets a well-deserved rest on the sidelines, as he's had runs of 70 and 35-plus yards here in this first half alone. And like Brian and Peter said, he's well over 100 yards rushing, and we still got 10 minutes left in the second quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Leominster Blue Devils. I formation in the backfield. Straight handoff to the tailback. He's got an opening. There he goes. He could go all the way.
He's gone.
30, 20, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. Hernandez showing his stuff. Let me see, a 75-yard touchdown run. Wow.
And Brian, this broadcast might have a boxer twist, but you have to acknowledge the speed and finesse of Jonathan Hernandez as he just had a 75-yard touchdown
Well,
run.
I mentioned it at the start of the game. I talked to Milford. Milford, watch out. Because John's coming. He is coming right at you next week. Outstanding run and outstanding offensive line by Leominster. Giving them a hole to hit and get on through there and get a touchdown.
Kick is up, and the kick is good. So there's nothing but electricity going on here at Rocky Marciano Stadium. Nothing but big-time high school football plays happening right before your eyes. We got a shootout. It's going to be 13 to 21. There was a flag on the play, and the kick is good. So it's 21 to 14 with 10:21 on the clock.
And this is exciting to watch. Here's the replay right here. And you're going to see Hernandez get the ball right there. And excellent hole.
Yeah.
And once he got through, he just kicked it in an overdrive, and no one was catching him.
Yeah, he's definitely got speed.
Yeah, he's got some.
He's one of the faster running backs I've seen this year since Brockton's been playing this season.
Well, that's what Milford said. They said this kid's got to be one of the fastest kids in the state, Jonathan Hernandez. And I'm sure that the track team would love to sway him away for, he probably does run track in the spring.
I'm hoping in the spring he takes it into a track because
Yeah.
he definitely could do some damage in that sport.
So the Boxers will receive the football again, as I'm sure that particular play just uplifted the Leominster Blue Devils, as they're hanging in there with the #1 team in Eastern Mass.
Well, Leominster's #1 over there in Central Mass, so I'm sure they didn't come in here intimidated. I'm sure they came in here confident that they could come away with a victory. Brockton is the king of the hill. They are the reigning Super Bowl champs of Eastern Massachusetts. So now they're kicking short.
A low squibber taken at about the 28 by Nate Dellin. And he almost broke away there for a big game, but he's taken down nicely at about the 35, 36-yard line.
Interesting that Lemons had a short kick, though, whether it was intentional or not. If you recall last week, Durfee, first play of the game, the kickoff was an onside kick in which they recovered. Perfectly planned and well executed by Durfee. They take a look at the Leominster Blue Devils scoring drive. 2 plays, 75 yards, and that one big run coming by Jonathan Hernandez for the touchdown.
1st and 10 for the Boxers as they come out of the huddle. I formation in the backfield. There you see Jesse Resende at quarterback, having a big game so far. And they give it to Penn, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Nice penetration by that defensive line of Leominster. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 12 yards to go, a 2-yard loss on that play.
And
9:48 on the clock. Excuse me, Peter.
I would watch for the Resende to Doherty connection on this drive, as they haven't executed that since the first series of the game. Watch out, Leominster.
Here come the Boxers with a man in motion. Resende pitches it out there. And that's Penn. Goes around the corner for a big gain. Almost a 1st down. It's close. And let's see where the, they're going to call it a 1st down right away. As you can see, this, well, the sticks are moving on the other side. We can see it. So nice run by Penn. 1st down and more.
Yeah, and Junior Penn, you know, I know he wants to get a few more touches and pick up some yards because he's always a threat. He's had some outstanding games up to this point. Now you're going to see right here, you see the option pass, or option run, and pitch it out to Penn. And there you see him turn around and get some big yards.
Well, he just put some punishment on Hernandez on that particular play. Hernandez did knock him out of bounds, but he did pay the price for it. Handoff straight ahead to Richardson for no gain. Maybe a yard.
Taken down by Leominster captain, Derek Craig.
This is Brockton Community Access Sports. I'm Miles Jackson with Brian Madden and Peter Zembor. Bring you all the exciting action here at Rocky Marciano Stadium this beautiful fall evening here in October. Matter of fact, this is Halloween weekend. And we wish everyone a safe holiday weekend for all the kids that go trick-or-treating. Boxers with that I formation in the backfield. Play fake. Resende rolls out left, looks, fires deep. And let's see who comes down with it.
Hernandez with the interception.
Boy, that Hernandez is just Johnny on the spot there. Great leaping interception there by Hernandez.
Yeah, and good job by the secondary by Leominster in general. There's quite a few defenders right there awaiting that pass intended for Nate Thelen.
And there you see Resende all the time in the world. And he just tosses it up there. Perfect spiral. But unfortunately,
defenders didn't bite on the play fake, so you got to give Leominster credit for not biting on that play fake. They stuck right with their receivers.
Yes, they did. And Hernandez comes up with the interception.
Leominster deep in their own territory. Ball is placed at the 10-yard line, 1st and 10. And there's a flag on the play. And I think there's too many men on the field for Brockton. And that's what the call is. Too many men on the field for the Boxers. So a little mix-up there on that particular defensive alignment.
John Lucas comes off the field.
So still a 1st down. It'll be 1st and 5 to go for the Leominster Blue Devils. 8:27 left in this first half. There's your score. Brockton up by 7. Dean hands off. and straight ahead for a couple of yards.
Hernandez.
Hernandez, the workhorse for Leominster.
Yeah, he's the man on their team.
And there you see limping, which is not a good sign. Big number 73, Brian. Who's that?
Javon Louis Jr.
Let's hope. Boy, and
He's favoring that left leg, left ankle.
Can't put any pressure on it, so it could be a sprang.
And he may just need to have it retaped. He's getting some assistance on the sidelines.
Oh, he's not putting any pressure on that, though. Hopefully that's not serious.
Hernandez takes the handoff. He's taken down. Shoestring tackle. Nice tackle. I believe by number 22 for Brockton.
And Brockton's trainer, Jerry, is over there attending to Louis June, trying to see if he'll be able to get back into the game.
I don't know, the way he was limping, Brian, that I hate to say it, but ankle sprains, that looked like a serious ankle sprain. He could be out for the, hopefully not, but that could be his last play of the game. Maybe he might need to rest that so he can be ready for next week.
Fumble.
And
Brockton gets the...
Was that a fumble?
Yeah, Johnny Ray Bonds.
So great play by the defense there. Let's see it here on replay, see what happened. It's a tight formation, and just the handoff, I mean, to the quarterback wasn't
Actually,
smooth.
they still, yeah, Brockton has the ball.
So somehow Brockton came up with the football. As you can see, the quarterback really didn't have the hands on his football, and somehow it got loose, and Brockton comes up with it. So 7:09 left. Brockton's deep in Leominster territory. They give it to Junior Penn. He finds an opening.
Touchdown.
Goes around to the left-hand side. Let's see if he can get in. And he just misses at about a yard short. Great effort by Junior Penn.
Yeah, and Junior was fortunate that, you know, when he tried to lean over and just put the ball inside the pylons, because it's kind of cold. That ball has to be slippery. He's fortunate that the ball didn't slip out of his hands and roll out of the back of the end zone, because that would have been a touchback.
And you could just see the defensive posture by Leominster. They're a little bit stunned at the moment as Brockton's looking to go up by 2 touchdowns with 7:01 on the clock. Very tight formation for the Boxers. They give it to Penn. Oh, and he's taken down nicely, and I don't think he got in.
Hernandez.
This is a little guy. I agree to say
this. Guy gets some. It says he's 5'10". He does not appear to be 5'10" from here.
You know, list him at 175 too, and he doesn't appear to be that heavy as well.
Yeah, but what tenacity of that kid.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
I mean, because Junior Penn usually runs people over, and Junior Penn ran into him, and he stopped him like a wall.
Yeah, like he hit a brick wall.
Excellent stop by Hernandez.
2nd down, Junior Penn pushes in for a touchdown. This time they go away from Hernandez and go to the left-hand side and score easily. Yeah. So Brockton, you can hear the cheers.
Brockton said they're going to leave that kid alone.
Yes.
I mean, he's got 2 interceptions, making, 2 touchdowns.
Interception, touchdown.
And then
Hitting
big defensive plays here and there.
Hitting people.
Yo, John, make sure you get a copy of this tape and show it to the colleges that you're interested in.
Paul Branco with the point after. Snap is down, kick is up, kick is good. So Paul Branco with his imitation this season, he's been Adam Vinatieri imitation.
Yes.
And Paul Branco is making a name for himself.
And that's outstanding company to be associated with. And Paul Branco for years, for his tenure here at Brockton High, he's gotten better and better every year. And this year is most, assuredly his best season.
Yeah, hats off to Paul Branco and his consistency.
And you just put a comparison between Branco and Adam Vinatieri. Adam Vinatieri in high school and even throughout college was not only a kicker but a quarterback. Paul Branco, a kicker right now. That's his only position.
Yeah. Here's that play where Hernandez just went low. And here's the next play where Junior Penn follows Johnny Ray Bonds. Excellent. See, Johnny Ray Bonds stood up Hernandez on that play and enabled Junior Penn to get around the outside.
And you could tell by the blocking that Brockton was determined to get that ball in the end zone. And no one was going to stop him. So 28-14 with 6:20 here in the second quarter. Still a lot of time.
A lot of time.
And we've had 6 scoring touchdowns already. Hernandez cuts through, still going, and finally taken down by John Marginson. Jason Marginson, excuse me. And Hernandez was blowing right through there again. If it wasn't for Jason, Hernandez would have been on his way.
The Brockton scoring drive, and it was just 3 plays after the fumble recovery. 3 plays, and Junior Penn was able to punch it in for about a 2-yard touchdown.
So 1st and 10 for the Leominster Blue Devils at their own 35-yard line. Quarterback drops back, fires to the sideline. Great catch by his receiver over there, number 30.
And that's Matthew Booth. And in on the tackle was 38, Michael Murray.
So 2nd down and about 4 yards for Leominster.
And there you see the replay. Michael Murray, as well as James Brown, takes him out of bounds.
Some movement on the defensive line as flags go. Free play. Hernandez somehow keeps his balance, and there he goes again. Still on his feet.
And good blocking by Leominster.
Still on his feet and finally taken down. Excellent run by Hernandez. And his flag's on the field, but I'm sure that was defensive penetration by Brockton. So I think that play is going to stand.
Yes, it does.
And Hernandez is putting on a show.
Yes, he is.
Though it did appear as if Brockton jumped off early, I wouldn't have been surprised if they did call it on Leominster because 2 Brockton players jumped at once.
There's the replay. There you see he's able to kick off Michael Murray, and he's waiting on his block as Nate Thellon's trying to get to him, and he's not able to, and Marginson jumps on his backs and goes for a little ride. He dragged him for about 2 or 3 yards.
Great job for Hernandez to follow his blocks and know when to slow down for a bit and then come back inside, come back outside. Just great running on Hernandez.
And actually Hernandez over there sucking wind. He's just trying to catch his breath. He's over there with his helmet off. I'm sure he's tired.
And you wonder, Brian and Peter, how long can Hernandez keep this up? As we've seen all year, Brockton usually wears down their opponents. And it just seems like you wonder how long can this little guy keep up this great effort.
Yeah, well, you know, evidently he's been doing it all year, no matter who the opponent was.
And speaking of stats with Jesse Resende earlier, I would think that Hernandez is probably reaching the 100-yard mark if he's not over it already.
Oh, I think he's over it. He's got to be over it because he had 2, 50-plus yard. Yeah, he had 2 50-plus yard runs. So. He's going for 150.
He could be entering Walter Payton territory soon. On the high school level, of course.
5:51 on the clock here in the second quarter. Brockton trying to hold Leominster from punching it in. 14-point lead for the Boxers. I formation for Leominster. And they hand it off straight ahead to Hernandez, and he pulls his way down to about the 2 or 3 yard line.
This kid's a beast. I mean, Latrell Melton was, met him behind the line of scrimmage, and Hernandez dragged him for about 5 yards before he was taken down.
So that brings up 2nd and goal for Leominster. Tight formation for the Blue Devils. They give it to Hernandez again, and he's stopped right at about the goal line. Nice play by the Boxers.
Yeah, and it took all the Boxer bigwigs. It took Johnny Ray Bonds, Nate Thelen to make that stop. And there you're going to see it right here. Hernandez gets the ball. Nice offensive line. They were able to give him a nice little hole, and then he ran into that wall. Junior Penn, Corey Brown, Corey, in on a tackle as well, I believe.
3rd and goal for Leominster. They got the tight formation up there. I formation in the backfield. Everybody's tight. Quarterback sneak.
Nothing.
And they're not going to give it to him because he didn't get anything. Great job by the defensive line of Brockton. So that'll bring up a big 4th down play for the Leominster Blue Devils.
Look for Leominster. I would think they're going to go for it.
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
going to have to
Down
go
by
for
2
it.
touchdowns. Yeah, I would think they're going to go for it.
And they're going to call a timeout to talk about it.
And that's very smart of
Coach John
DeCarolis. Oh, that's Joe JV.
John Dubinsky, head coach for Leominster.
And yep.
So big play coming up for both teams.
And this is where Brockton has to stand up now. I would look for Leominster to do an option play and try and go to the outside, whereas Brockton has really bottled up the middle so much. I'd look for them to try and get a little relief to the outside and use his speed and agility.
Yep, possible play action by Leominster. Or going to the outside, as Brian said. We just have a feeling they're not going to go straight ahead with it. They might try something to the outside.
And they may they may try and drive Brockton off sides and get a 1st down.
Okay, here we go, folks. The Blue Devils, the ball right at the goal line. They give it to Hernandez. He punches it in for a touchdown. Just straight ahead power football there.
That was power football.
And they punch it in. Hernandez, the man for Leominster. He got a good shot there of him.
And this is Southeastern Massachusetts football in Brockton against Central Massachusetts football in Leominster. And though Brockton's prevailing at the moment, Leominster's showing that they are game.
Definitely so, Peter.
And I see Jovan Louis-June over on the sidelines running on that tender ankle. So I think he's going to be able to get back in. And again, the outstanding personal trainer, Jerry, has done her magic and has brought him back in. And it's good that he's going to be going into the locker room. I mean, it's almost halftime. He doesn't really need to get back into the game. Give his ankle a little bit more time to rest. And here you're going to see the touchdown. You're going to see Hernandez take the ball, just follow behind his blockers, and just punch it into the end zone.
Boy, Johnny Ray Barnes had him at about the 1 or 2, and he just kind of dragged Johnny right in. Just shows you the power that Hernandez has beside the speed.
And that's something that Brockton is used to as far as, well, on the other end of the field. I mean, other end of the side of the ball. Here you see the scoring summary of Leominster. You see that long run up the middle, and then you see the 4 little run-ins down at the end before he punches it in.
Not one pass play, as you can see, Brian.
Not one pass play, but they're not a passing team anyway. They're a running team. Like Brockton has been so many times, so many years in the past. But now Brockton is a little bit more versatile. They have, air weaponry as well as on the ground. But Brockton's running backs are used to dragging players as well.
And here's the kickoff, short kick. And Corey picks it up. And just as he touches the ball, he is hammered by a couple of the Leominster players there. Number 44 was right in there. One of the brothers there. Anthony Master Pasqua.
And 3:52 left on the clock with Brockton taking over. That's surely enough time with this Brockton offense to put some more points on the board.
Yeah, Corey's favoring his right side a little bit.
Yeah, he was popped there. You can see it here on replay.
Yeah, you're going to see the ball on the ground, and Corey just trying to get a handle on it and be sure as far as when he picks it up. See, he fumbled it at first, and then he's hit right on the hip.
And Corey's going to come out and take a breather. So 1st and 10 for the Boxers at their 20. 3:52 on the clock, plenty of time to get another score in. Jesse Resende at quarterback. And there's a flag on the play, and it could be movement by the offensive line.
I believe it was offsides on the defense. It appeared that on the left side.
And it is movement by the offense. Yep.
Okay.
You can see it on the front line there. They kind of moved just a little bit, just enough for the referees to pull out their flags. So that'll put the ball back, I believe, 5 yards at least. As you can see the defense of the Leominster Blue Devils, and it is a 5-yard penalty, so it'll be 1st and 15 at the 15 for the Boxers. Resende drops back, little side pattern there to Corey Brown, and he's taken down quickly for about a 5-yard gain. Let's call it a 4-yard gain. Clock running with 3:23 left here in the first half.
I'm sure Coach Colombo would love to go back up to a 14-point lead.
Resende drops back again. It's like a screen pass there to Ryan Doherty. He's got some open room. There he goes. 1st down and more. To the 45-yard line. Nice play by Ryan Doherty.
Yeah.
Little screen pass to the big tight end.
And that was an excellent call. Jesse drops back and hits Ryan Doherty at about 7 or 8 yards ahead of him. And Ryan turns it upfield. Here you're going to see it here. Jesse drops back, plenty of time. He's had a lot of time all day. Does a little jump pass, and no one even in the picture. And Doherty knows what to do with it after the catch.
Resende rolls out to his left, fires downfield, has Doherty again, and he takes it inside the 35-yard line of Leominster's, and another nice play combination, Resende to Doherty with 2:26 on the clock.
And Jesse has so many weapons to work with. I mean, you have Doherty, you have Brown, you have Thelen. So many weapons as far as passing. And then you go to the running backs, and you have Thelen, you have Johnny Ray, and he hasn't done any running back in a while, but Penn and Richardson and Moggeson and McNeil.
1st and 10 inside Leominster territory. Resende throws a deep pass out there to Corey, and just out of his reach. Good coverage by the defensive backs for Leominster.
And nice coverage there by Ryan LaPrade.
They'll bring up 2nd and 10. On those 2 plays before, Doherty showing some of his speed for a big tight end. He's got some speed.
Yes, he does. And Leominster's doing what they can to try and keep Brockton from extending this lead back up to 14 points, if not 10 points.
1:59 on the clock. There you see the offense spread out on your screen. And Resende keeps it, and he's taken down nicely behind the line of scrimmage by number 44.
Anthony Mastro Pasqua.
Yeah, this Brockton offense really progressed with some big plays early in this drive, but this Leominster defense is really doing a stand-up job on this series.
And there you're going to see Resende See the defender on the ground, 17, tries to grab him as he passes by. And Pasqua, nice open field tackle there.
Yeah.
Master Pasqua. Michael, or Anthony. Anthony.
3rd and about 12 for the Boxers, and the whistle blows, and I believe Coach Colombo will call a timeout with 1:20 on the clock.
And I think this is very smart call. You know, there's 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the half. 3rd and 12. So you really want to make sure that the play, everybody's on the same page. You know, you don't have to, Jesse doesn't have to go in there and give, you know, shout calls or whatever. Everybody can know what the play is before they go to the line of scrimmage.
And that tells you Coach Colombo is, when he called that timeout, you knew he wants to come off the field with a few more points.
Yes, he does. And that's something that we're used to. Brockton has always been a threat, you know, within the last 2 or 3 minutes before the half of putting some numbers up, no matter where they are on the field.
So back out comes the offense for Brockton, as they're going to line up quickly. A la 2-minute offense. Double wide out at the top of your screen. Sunday drops back, blitz, breaks the tackle, throws it long, has Doherty there, and just nice breakup there again by the
LaPrade.
brother there, number 20.
Ryan LaPrade.
Excuse me, Ryan LaPrade.
And LaPrade, 5'7", but he plays much bigger. You know, the kid knows how to use his athleticism to get big when he needs to.
And that was a good play in general by the Leominster defense. As you see early on in the play,
Here's the
there's a
replay.
defender getting right in the face of Jesse Resende. Jesse Resende able to sidestep him. However,
Oh, good.
Yeah, that was a key right there, that blitz.
Yeah, and there you're going to see, you didn't see LaPrade get over, but LaPrade was over at the middle of the field, left his position, and ran over.
You get it to Corey Brown. Corey goes inside, and he gets a first down, or close to it.
And
It is a first down.
smart run by Corey. It appeared that a couple of times there during that run, he was running east to west instead of north to south, but he was able to turn it upfield just enough to get that first down. Excellent run there by Corey Brown.
And a key first down at that. That enabled Brockton to keep going forward to even try to put another 6 points on the board.
Well, right now, I would say they're very comfortably inside of Broncos' range.
So 1 minute, 1 second left in the first half. Boxers threatening. You can see their offense is spread out. 3 wide receivers, 1 lone tailback. Sunday drops back in the pocket, looks, and almost intercepted. A little bit behind Thelen.
yeah, Thelen was amidst 3 defenders, but it definitely wasn't a bad pass by Resende because Thelen had enough room where he could have caught that.
Yeah, he was open. He was open briefly. By the time the ball got there, the defenders were there, but if the ball was on target, it would be 6 more points.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Boxers with 56 seconds on the clock. So here we go. Shotgun formation for the Boxers. Resende is going to keep it. Goes to the outside and breaks a tackle. Still on his feet, spins, and is finally taken down. Big 8-yard gain.
An excellent run there by Resende, who that was a quarterback run all the way. As soon as he got the ball, he tucked it under his arm and was off. And was able to use his athleticism to bounce to the outside. Here's another timeout called by Coach Colombo.
All he had, the clock was ticking down, 32 seconds left. Boxers unable to get out of bounds and play and stop the clock that way. They've got to do something. I think that they probably will get in the board going into halftime one more time.
So there you have your Leominster team gathered around their coaches. Leominster coming in this Marciano Stadium at a 4-2 record. Brockton coming in here undefeated, 7-0. Looking to improve to 8-0. And here come the Boxers. I formation in the backfield. And Resende fakes the handoff. Looking, and we're going to get a clip by Nate Dellin. You saw it right there on your screen.
Yeah.
And he knew he made it.
Yeah, Nate Dellin, he just trying to help out his quarterback. He knew that Jesse was... Jesse had nowhere to go. And you can see Jesse looked like it might have been a broken play to Penn. Jesse had nowhere to go, and Nate Dellin does the block in the back to Ross Cadillo, which pushes Boxers back. So Brockton will probably opt for a passing play right here.
Most likely a passing play to one of the sidelines to kill the clock so they can give Branco a chance to put up 3 if they don't punch it into the end zone. Resende drops back, looks, fires down the middle, has Ryan, and just out of his reach or just through his hands. It was hard to tell.
No, he should have caught that. That hit his hands. He should have brought that in.
So that'll be 4th down.
I'm sure his hands are a bit stiff as it is, a bit chilly tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, tad chilly.
No, you got to catch that. I'm sorry.
Not making excuses, giving reasons.
Got to catch that.
And it looks like Bronco's going to attempt an extra point, and we've been commenting on his kicking skills throughout the game. Excuse me, field goal. See, I'm saying extra point. That's how used you are to seeing high school students only kicking field goals rather than extra points. This will be about a 31-yarder.
Actually, it'll be a 41-yarder.
Good.
And it is good. No good. Oh, just wide to the right, maybe a tiny bit. 41-yard attempt almost made by Bronco. He had the distance.
Yeah, he definitely had the distance. It looked good from here.
There you see the ball placed at the 31.
Looks like a good hold, and it's off. And let's see if we can see where it's. Okay, wide left a little bit. Just a little left.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny
wide
bit.
right. That was wide right.
Okay.
Just a fraction. And that's why the crowd thought it was good. We thought it was good, but the referees let us know that they have the best sight to look at that. Right under the goal post. And there you go. Time runs out here in the first half. A 7-point Brockton lead, 28-21.
And keep in mind that Leominster will get the ball back to begin the second half. And as we've seen, players such as John Hernandez capable of making spectacular plays, Leominster could tie this up on the first series of the next half.
Yeah, because you know Hernandez is going into the locker room to recharge his batteries. And he's going in to recharge his batteries and ready to come out hot in the second half. But Brockton's defense probably looks to try and find a way to slow this kid down a little bit, if not stop him altogether.
Yeah, definitely, because he's been the main man here in the first half. And as Brockton has been doing their opponents all year round, they've been wearing them out. And by the end of the third and fourth quarter, the other team is usually just about beat up. And Hernandez isn't a big guy, but he's a very strong young man. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Brockton handles this Leominster team with their star player, Hernandez.
And coming up momentarily, the Brockton High School band, as you see on your screen, will be taking the field for a halftime performance. And this will be especially a treat for our viewers in Leominster, as they don't often get the chance to see Brockton's band. Well, I would think only once a year if they're actually coming to the game. But Brockton High School's marching band regarded by many to be the best in New England. So I'm
Yeah.
sure some people in Leominster have different feelings about that. They like their own band, but hey.
Well, I would
To
have
each
to
their
say,
own.
Brock, for high school bands, would have to be one of the best in the country because they're outstanding.
And one of the best looking bands, as you can see, very sharp with their uniforms and their instruments, marching onto the field to give Brockton and their fans a wonderful halftime show. Big turnout here at Brockton High this evening, considering a little chilly out, but the Brockton fans and faithful are out here in full force.
And Leominster, the Leominster crowd, they're very sparse over there, as you see on the other end of the field, across the field.
But to those people's credit, Leominster is not an easy drive to
It's
Brockton.
not an easy drive. I mean, I give them all the credit in the world to come out. But you see some of the youth up in the top right corner up there. Those are the kids coming out to support their classmates, which I'm sure means a lot to the Leominster team. And the rest would probably be parents.
Okay, so we're going to enjoy the Brockton High Marching Band, and we'll be back for second half action in a moment.
Look, there's a moose. Where? Over there. Oh, yeah. Look, over there. I see a fish. A fish with 2 stripes.
Spend time with kids anytime, and it helps prevent crime. It's that easy.
Hi, I'm Cindy Thompson for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. Real life is not always a song, and in less time than it takes to play the latest country hit, someone will be injured or killed in an alcohol-related crash. So next time you're out with someone who's been drinking, don't let them take the wheel. Take the keys instead. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
This party isn't all that it's cracked up to be.
Welcome back, everyone, to the second half action of Brockton and Leominster. There you see the score, 28-21. It's been a shootout here in the first half, and we're looking for the same thing here in the second half, Brian.
Yes, looking for more of the same. I mean, 2 touchdowns by Jesse Resende, 3 touchdowns by what's his name, Jonathan Hernandez of Leominster.
And here we go, second half, a booming kick by Paul Branco. He takes it at the he took that at about the 2-yard line, excuse me, 2-yard line, returned it to about the 15. And that was a great kick by Paul Branco.
Yeah, Branco's been doing outstanding all season, and more of the same today. And the other 2 touchdowns were one by Corey Brown and one by Junior Penn. So outstanding runs by these 2 formidable teams here.
First and 10 for the Blue Devils. They hand it off to their tailback, Hernandez, and he gets maybe a couple. Nice play by the defense there as they were all on Hernandez. So that brings up second down, 8 yards to go.
And look for Brockton to try and focus a little bit more on John Hernandez. Try and slow him down a little bit because this kid's been running wild during the first half.
Dean at quarterback throws out a little short pass out there to their tight end, number 88. And he's taken down quickly, a gain of about 3.
And Rodriguez with the reception, John Rodriguez. And he didn't particularly care for the way he was taken down by Nate Thelen. Jumped up in Nate's face, and Nate wisely turned and walked away. So you see Margerson, he just blows past him, and Nate Thelen wrestles him to the ground. And I don't know, Rodriguez thought that this is flag football, you know, but it's touch football. You will be touched out there by the boxes.
Third down situation for Leominster. And Boise pitches it out there to Hernandez, and he gets by 1 tackler, but he's finally taken down short of the first down. And that was a big third down play for the Brockton defense to hold Leominster on that first possession here in the second half.
Yeah, outstanding defense. Brockton was not fooled by the option. And here you're going to see right here, gives it to Hernandez deep behind the line of scrimmage. And Brockton was able to move up and take him down.
So punting, Ryan Doherty almost got a little piece of that. And it takes a Leominster bounce. Finally goes out of bounds at about the 40.
And Doherty's done that all game long. He's getting in there. You know, I'm looking for him to get his fingers on the ball, get a little connection, possibly before this game is out. Because this is at least the 3rd time where he's been very close to a block.
So first and 10 for the Boxers with 8:48 on the clock.
And here we're going to see a little replay here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, so tempers are starting to flare a little bit on both sides.
You can see right there in the middle of your screen, little jousting going on. Flags on this particular play. And we'll see what the call is. Resende kept the ball and ran with it. And it'll be on the defense. So there'll be a 5-yard penalty offsides.
Yeah, and I'm sure the coaches aren't too upset about the chippiness going on between the teams. It shows their tenacity, their passion, as long as it doesn't get out of hand. And as long as it doesn't cost any flags.
So 1st and 5 for the Boxers. Ball is placed on the 45-yard line of Brockton. Here come the Boxers in their I formation. Receiver at the bottom of your screen. Jesse hands straight off to Penn. He goes straight forward, still going, knocking Leominster players over, and gets a first down on a great run for about 7 yards, but it was a tough run.
Yeah, and that was the first real significant run of Penn all game. As far as picking up outstanding yards. There you're going to see he gets touched there around midfield and is able to bounce off a couple tacklers and have the sticks moved another 10 yards.
1st and 10. Boxers are in Leominster territory. A little movement by the center, and they're going to throw a flag. As you can see it there on your screen, a little pre-anticipation.
Yeah.
It's a call by the referee, illegal motion.
Yeah, Joshua Previte. And you're going to see right about
1st and 15.
there.
As the center jumps
Flinches,
just a little
yeah.
bit. Okay, 1st and 15 now for the Boxers. They're back in their own territory. Nate Dellin in motion. Quarterback keeper. Resende gets around the corner there, and he's still going, cuts inside. Oh, what a cut. He's going to go all the way, folks. I don't think they're going to catch
flags.
him.
No
Touchdown. A 53-yard jaunt with juking and sidestepping. Great moves by Resende.
Jesse has had some fantastic runs. He's had a 70-yard run. He's had 60-yard runs. But I would have to say that was the most exciting run he's had this season. Look at him right there. Look at the stiff arm. Stiff arm. He just pushed him, smush, get out of my face. And then he jugs back, and Michael Vick-like, look at that, breaks some ankles, and then he's off to the races. Excellent run there by Jesse Resende. And that was it. You know, Resende was all alone. He had some blockers up ahead of him, and he was able to use his athleticism and, turn left or right wherever necessary. Wherever he saw a white shirt, he just bounced to the outside and, took it to the house.
Excellent instincts by the senior quarterback from Brockton, Jesse Resende. Just nothing but exciting action here in Division I football. Nothing but the best here at Rocky Marciano Stadium. I'm Miles Jackson with Brian Madden, bringing you all the exciting action on Brockton Community Access.
And I think Jesse's sending a little message to Hernandez. Look, not in my house. This is my house. You know what I mean? You come over here, you're not going to come over here and just run wild on my team, and I'm going to stand back and watch you do it? No. Here's the scoring summary. And there you see a couple penalties, and then you see that long run there by Jesse. And it was a little bit more left and right than that straight line going up the field.
Exactly.
He ran about 65 yards to go 53.
Like you said, Brian, a la Michael Vick. Scoring run there. 52-plus yards. And Paul Branco will kick off with 7:34 here in the third quarter. A 35-21 Boxer lead. Taken by, I couldn't see who that was taken by.
I believe it was Hernandez. No, it's not. Hernandez standing up there. Number 20, 21.
So ball is placed at the 19-yard line of Leominster. So the Leominsters got a little mountain to climb. They're down by 2 touchdowns.
And that's where Coach Colombo wants to leave it. He wants to keep that 2-touchdown cushion.
Quarterback looking for someone, doesn't find anyone, and he is roped down and tackled. Maybe a yard gain. Nope, no gain at all. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Blue Devils. Here it is on replay. It looked like he was hogtied from around his neck.
And I'll
Look
tell
closely.
you, he grabbed by the shoulder, his left shoulder pad, spun him around. But I have to give it up to the Brockton defensive backs today, because all game long he has been looking for receivers, and more often than not he had to pull it down and try to do something on his own because no one was open.
Play action fake by Boise. He's pressured, spins around, still pressured. Somehow gets out of there and gets back almost to the line of scrimmage and is finally taken down. And that was an effort just to get back close to the line of scrimmage for Leominster, as great defensive pressure put on by the Brockton Boxers.
And here you're going to see on replay a little fake like, and there you see 61 right on him. Then he turns around and is able to pick up about 6 or 7 yards, try and regain about 6 or 7 yards before taking down right around the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you, number 66, Big Jonathan Rukas, who was the guy really putting the pressure on him. Even though the quarterback did some faking and juking, Rukas stayed right with him. So give a lot of credit there to Big Jonathan Rukas. Quarterback draw for about 3.
And the Brockton defense has really stiffened since they've come back from the locker room. And is there a flag on the field? It appears not.
So it's going to be 4th down and a punting situation for the Blue Devils. Corey Brown and Nate Thelen are back for the punt. Kick is a short, high kick, but it's very short. Takes a Leominster bounce, though, just inside Boxer territory.
And Boxers move out of the way and let that ball roll to a stop at the 50-yard line. So Brockton with good field position.
And a chance to really blow it wide open here on this drive if they can put some points on the board.
Yeah, that's one thing that Brockton does every game. They tend to get stronger as the game goes on. By the 4th quarter, you know, they're pretty much able to do what they want at their will.
And it's a quarterback pitch out there to Corey Brown, the wide receiver. And he gets 5 or 6 yards out on almost nothing. Great move and speed by Corey Brown.
And excellent run there by Corey, taken down by Ryan LaPrade. Like you said, he gets 5 yards out of nothing. And then you're going to see the pitch out, and he just high steps over that defender. And 17 wants none of that. Doesn't even.
It looked like he kind of stopped.
He kind of stopped and just, you know, stopped even trying to. Yeah, I don't think the coach is going to like that one.
This is a Brock Boxers mascot doing a fine job out here to cheer this crowd on. 2nd down, 5 yards to go for the Boxers. They got a lone man in the backfield. Brown in motion. Resende drops back, looks. He's going for all the marbles. He might have a man open. Nate Dolman. Nate catches the ball, but he lands just about at the 2-yard line as he went down. And the rule is in high school football, once your knee hits the ground, you are down.
And Nate Thelen pleading his case, but I rolled into the end zone. Let me have my 6 points.
What a beautiful pass and catch combination of Resende and Thelen.
Yeah, excellent. You see Corey Brown drop back to block. Wasn't necessary. No defenders even near him. And Nate Thelen about good 4 yards ahead of his defender and catches the ball right around the 2-yard line and rolls into the end zone untouched But as you stated in high school MIAA rules, you are down at contact with the ground.
And a great overhead catch by Thelen. Great concentration on the wide receiver to come down with that football. First and goal for the Boxers, and Resende, quarterback, sneaks it, and he's a little bit short. Ball will probably be placed at the half-yard line.
And Jesse calling his own number. Jesse wants these points. You know, he wants to again just show the dominance here at home. And let's see if Coach Colombo calls his number one more time.
Now, one good sign, Brian, in the second half, Leominster has had 2 possessions, and the Boxers have stopped them both. And you haven't seen much of Hernandez doing anything outstanding, so that is a good sign. Brockton is wearing down this fine football club from Leominster, Massachusetts. And Leominster holds the Boxers at bay again. It'll be a 3rd and goal for the Boxers.
And who was in on the tackle?
Hernandez.
And there you see Junior Penn stood up by Hernandez, backed up even.
So 3rd and goal for the Boxers. Let's see what Coach Peter Colombo pulls out of his bag of tricks. And he just goes power football, and they don't get in again. Leominster holds.
He gets about a half a yard. And looks about a half a yard short of the touchdown. I think Brockton would go for it in this situation. No, he's calling a timeout. Coach Colombo wants a timeout. Actually, you can go either. You really don't know what they're going to do in this situation. They're up by 2 touchdowns. They have a very accurate field goal kicker in Bronco. Very tenacious offense, who's used to being able to punch it in short yard situations. So, no, you're at an impasse as far as what do they do.
Yeah, give Leominster credit here. They're down by 14 points. They've had the ball twice in this 3rd quarter. Haven't done anything with it. But the defense is holding up, showing their strength right there at the goal line, man for man in the trenches, and they're doing a fine job here at Rocky Marciano Stadium in hostile territory.
And there we see Ed
Gleason
up on the roof.
Ed has come prepared for this cool, cold weather, and it's a lot colder, folks, up there on top of the press box than it is in the stands or this nice, warm, comfortable press box that we're in.
Oh, yes.
So hats off to our cameramen that are braving the elements out here, giving us these fine shots up high and down below on the field. So here come the Boxers offense back on the field. 4th and goal, folks.
And they're going for it.
2 minutes, 24 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. We've got 3 men in the backfield, tight formation. They hand it to Penn. Penn looks, Penn dives. Touchdown. Junior Penn.
And it's a good call by Coach Colombo to just bounce it, running over the, excuse me. You're going to see it right here. Junior Penn falls behind his blockers. Nice blocking by Johnny Ray Bonds and Aaron Richardson. Just opening up enough of a seam for Junior Penn to squirm through and get the touchdown. And Brockton leads by 20.
This is a snap. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So Paul Branco puts him up by 42 points, a 42-21 Boxer lead, a 3-touchdown lead, and pretty much a commanding lead at the moment for the Boxers.
Yeah, outstanding play by the Boxers. I mean, since the half, they really have just dominated on both sides of the field. Their offense is moving the sticks at ease. Leominster has had, like you said, 2 possessions and was not able to really pick up any momentum. So let's see if Brockton can continue their dominance. And here we're going to see the scoring drive. And there you see 2 plays, a short run and then that Oh, actually, the passing play, and then you see the 4 plays down at the pretty much right there at the goal line. 6 plays, 50 yards.
Brockton's defense and offensive line wearing this fine Leominster team down a little bit. Wearing them down is Leominster's no different than any of the other opponents this season, Brian. Is, like I said, third and fourth quarter, they just kind of wear you down.
Yes, they do.
And really, there's nothing you can do about it.
And you know what? I would have to say that even though they've given up 21 points, I would say that this is their best game this season, up to this point.
Yeah, definitely, Brian, because they haven't had the mental turnovers like they normally have. They usually seem to have a couple each game, but this game has been pretty mentally free. And here's a nice run back and finally taken down. Trying to see who that was that ran that. It was Hernandez. Who else but?
Yes.
Great return by Hernandez.
Yeah, but back to my point, Brockton hasn't had any turnovers. Oh, here you're going to see the run back by Hernandez. And he bounces outside, sees a couple blockers, and if he could have got past 83, he might have had a chance.
So we're back to live action. Leominster with the football at their 45-yard line. Hands it off to Hernandez.
Picks up about 6.
He goes straight ahead. Clock running, 1 minute and 58 seconds left in this third quarter.
Yeah, and but the Boxers, like I said, this is the best game of the season where they haven't had the real letdowns. They had a letdown in that's first scoring drive by Leominster after Brockton's initial touchdown. But outside of that, Leominster has earned their 21 points. They weren't given to them, and Brockton is dominated, as you see on the end of the field.
Handoff straight ahead to Hernandez, and he hurdles over the pile and almost gets a first down. It's very close. It could be. Let's see where the referees spot it.
Probably going to be a measurement.
And that was a great effort, as you can see here.
Yeah, and you're going to see Hernandez gets the ball. Nice blocking. That offensive line moved the Brockton defense back about 3 yards, allowing Hernandez to catapult close to a first down. So about, 3rd and inches.
Yes, indeed. 3rd and inches for the Leominster Blue Devils. I formation, hands it straight ahead to Hernandez. He busts his way in for a first down inside the 45-yard line. Leominster is in Brockton territory with 44 seconds on the clock here in the third quarter. There you got a good look at the Brockton defense, who they look pretty fresh to me.
Yeah. And then you see number 70 for Leominster. That's a big boy.
Yes, it is. Who is that?
Tim Schofield, 6 foot 240. He looks bigger than that.
Handoff is
fumble. Brockton has the ball.
So turnover there. A mistake by
I believe
Leominster.
I believe it was number 30. I'm trying to see his number. If he'll turn to the side, 33. 33 has the ball, and he never really got possession.
He never got the possession because you can see the quarterback looking for the ball, but there it is up there. No, he never really did get the ball.
No,
so
he
it wasn't
didn't.
A clean handoff.
It wasn't, and you don't know whether it's the quarterback's fault or the running back's fault in that situation. But it was a bad handoff, and Brockton has a chance to put some more numbers on the board.
1st and 10 for the Boxers. Ball is placed at the 38-yard line. Handoff to Penn. Penn's hit and taken down by number 6 for Leominster. That was Derek Craig.
And Penn's been pretty much neutralized. Neutralized this game.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah, because all season long, Penn has been just running over players, and I don't know if there may be some little injury or something like that, or if Leominster just has his number.
I don't know. It seems like tonight is the night of the little guys, as Resendez ran for 3 touchdowns, and Hernandez has put a number of touchdowns on the boards. So it's just one of them nights. It's Halloween weekend, and it's a night of the little guys.
Yes, it is.
There's Coach Peter Colombo doing a fine job getting through these young men's heads, and that's why they're 7-0.
And Coach Colombo, I mean, there wasn't any letdown, any slack, nothing from the transition from Coach Armin Colombo to Coach Peter Colombo. You know, I call him the Coaches Colombo, who have just really done an outstanding job with this program. And Brockton just seems to get better and better. You know, you have to admit that it's been a long time since Brockton has dominated like this. You know, this is something we were used to years ago, back in the 80s and in the 90s. But now Brockton is back on top, and I don't see them giving up their
There's a gentleman seated in front here who's been a fan for the last 40 years. He's celebrating his...
A little pitch out there to McNeil. There he goes. Jason breaks a tackle. Flag on the play. He stood at 30. Finally wrestled out of bounds at about the 20. An exciting, excellent run there by Jaron McNeil, but it could be brought back because of a penalty. Let's see what the referees say. And it's going to be called holding on the offense. So it'll bring back that pretty run by Jaron McNeil.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Excellent run there by Jaron. And in the stands, we have a fan who has been coming to the games for, 40 years. 40 years, and it's his birthday. Happy birthday. What's his name? Paul Will Doran. 73 years old. And he's received a nice little picture. No.
So Brockton's second down and about 7 yards to go. Ball is fumbled by Resende, but he falls right on it, so it'll bring up a third down situation for the Boxers.
And you see Jesse Resende coming over to get the instructions. What's the play?
We're in the fourth quarter,
and
10 minutes.
There's the replay. And you see the ball slips out of his hands, and Jesse smartly falls on it before being touched by 2 Leominster defenders.
Less than 10 minutes left in this ball game. Third down and about 8 yards to go for the Boxers. Resende drops back. Looks like he was trying for the screen pass. Doesn't find anybody, and he's going to be run out of bounds. And taken out at about the 36, 37-yard line.
Yeah, and there was a bit of a late hit.
Yeah, almost, in the gray area of a late hit. He kind of dragged him out of bounds. A little extra drag. If he would have hit him, they might have threw a flag. And Resende runs back to the offense, and they're gonna punt it real quickly. Fourth and about 11 yards to go for the Boxers. Kick is up in a nice high kick. Takes a Leominster bounce and finally taken down at about the 43-yard line of Leominster.
And Johnny Morrissey, when he saw that ball coming back towards his direction, smartly touched the ball. Tried to keep Leominster pinned back as much as possible.
So let's see what the Leominster Blue Devils can do. It's been a long evening for them, especially here in the second half. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. Hands it off to their tailback. That was number 17.
No, Hernandez had the ball. Was it?
Yeah, it was number 17 there.
Calabro?
Calabro, yeah. Anthony Calabro, a 3-yard carry, makes it 2nd down and about 7. I formation in the backfield for Leominster. A little quick pass out there to number 20. He cuts back to the opposite side of the field, cuts through the middle, gets some yardage, but it's about a 3-yard gain, but he ran about 10 yards for those 3 yards.
And, you know, it's a good thing he caught that ball because that was a lateral. The quarterback turned and threw it behind him. You're going to see right here, throws it behind him about 3 or 4 yards. And had that ball hit the ground, it would have been a live ball.
8:26 on the clock, 3rd down and about 4 for the Blue Devils. Handoff goes to the tailback, and he doesn't get a 1st down.
Johnny Ray Bonds stopped him.
That was Hernandez stopped, and so right now, and you can see Hernandez looks like he has a cramp.
I wonder why.
So that's bring up 4th down, and Hernandez goes out of the game.
4th down and about 3 yards.
Leominster just inside Brockton territory.
Block
Punt.
I told you.
And finally, Ryan Doherty gets in there and gets his due and gets the reward and gets a block punt. As Ryan says, sooner or later, he's got to get one.
He's going to get one because he was right there. This was the 4th or the 5th time that he was right there. And I knew that he was going to get in there eventually because he's been so close. Whoever has been defending him has just been kind of like just brushed him as he went by and just allowed him free reign to the kicker.
And just an example of, Leominster's getting a little tired, and that's a perfect example right there. Doherty going full tilt, Ryan Doherty, and going in there and getting his reward, a block punt. And Brockton has excellent field position inside Leominster territory with 7:18 on the clock. So 2nd down and 8 for the Boxers.
And as dominant and as strong as Leominster looked early, it looks like the wind is out of their sail right about now.
I formation in the backfield for the Boxers. And they go draw play to McNeil. And he's met, but not after gaining about 4 yards.
Well, it looks like they have a little bit of wind left. That was a nice tackle there on McNeil. After he gained about, like you said, 4 or 5 yards.
And there's your Leominster defense, giving it a great effort this evening. As you can see, they're a little bit tired. This Brockton offense wears you down. Quarterback drops back in the pocket, has a man open. That's Brown. He's breaking tackles, spinning, breaking and spinning. There he goes. Nice play by Corey Brown to get that extra yardage.
Excellent play. The first, here you're going to see it on replay. Vizendi drops back. He's had all the time in the world all game long. Corey Brown breaks off of Gavon.
It was a beautiful spin.
And also Hernandez, Garvin, is the first player that got to him, and he just, rolled off of him.
That was just instincts on Corey Brown to make those moves. Hand off to McNeil, and he gets about 3 yards, maybe 4.
And excellent run by McNeil. And Coach Peter Colombo is, with a 21-point lead, is starting to give his sophomores and his backups a little bit of burn to try and get them ready for next year.
Here come the Boxers with 5:04 on the clock. Jesse Resende pitches it out to Jaron McNeil, and he's met before the line of scrimmage, so it'll be a loss on the play. Nice coverage by the Leominster defense. So that'll bring up a 3rd down. 3rd and 10 for the Boxers. And there's a nice shot of the offense. This is Brockton Community Sports. I'm Miles Jackson with Brian Madden.
Yeah, we've lost Peter.
And Resende play fakes, rolls out to his left, and he is tackled by the ankles. Nice tackle there by number 17.
The captain, Anthony Calabro.
So one of the few plays that
Calabro has been in.
That Resende hasn't been able to do something with the ball when he has it out in the open. So that'll bring up 4th down, and Bronco's going to try a field goal attempt. Well, why not? With a 3-touchdown lead. And even if it was a 1-touchdown lead, I think they would put Bronco out there anyway. So it looks like about a 37-yard kick. It's up. It is good. 37-yard field goal for Paul Branco as he continues his torrid streak on hitting these professional and college-type field goals.
Yes, outstanding kicking. And I'm sure Bronco was pleased that that last play went to the left hash mark, allowed him to have the right angle with his right, kicking from the right side, or from the left side with his right foot. And there you see the kick. And actually, I think he took a little bit off of that. He just kicked it just enough to get over the crossbars, but he wanted to make sure that the accuracy was there.
Yeah, good point, Brian. He was definitely looking at the accuracy and not so much the power in it. So that just shows you his finesse on the way he kicks.
And his intelligence in as far as knowing how hard to kick it from that distance.
So it's a 45-21 lead with 3:28 on the clock. And Brockton High has shown its dominance to another quality team that has come in here to Rocky Marciano Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, everybody they play is quality. I mean, when you look at their schedule, Boston College, who's really not having a good season this year, Barnstable, Xaverian, St. John's, Fitchburg, Marshfield, Durfee, Leominster, Pinkerton, at New Bedford, and Waltham. So these are all leaders. And there you see the end of the play. Most of the opponents that they face are leaders in their respective divisions. So they don't have any weak spots on their roster.
No, they don't. They have a lot of options they can go to on their offense.
And as I stated earlier, just at the beginning of the game, even though Brockton has dominated this division, I mean, the Division I on the Eastern Mass, they don't really have any scoring leaders except for Jesse. Jesse's upped his numbers as far as a touchdown leader now.
Pass is intercepted by number 22. There he goes. Cuts across. Still going. He wants to go in, folks. Cuts one more time, and he's going to step in. James Brown dances his way into the end zone.
No flags on the field.
And an exciting run there. Interception return for a touchdown.
And there you see his teammates congratulating him. Everybody is excited for James. Look at that. There's a jug there and break some more ankles. Look at that. Defenders falling on the ground. One defender to beat, and he had 3 Brockton boxers up there to block, freeing him for the touchdown. And Bronco with another extra point.
Snap is down, kick is up, kick is blocked. So you see something you rarely see, folks. a blocked point after by an opponent on Paul Branco and his special teams, and that's something you just don't see too often. You haven't seen too often this year.
Well, you know what? The special teams, it's a little tired. They were just right out there just a moment ago for that field goal. And I think they just kind of let down a little bit, relaxed a little bit, which is something that really Brockton has to focus on stopping, stop losing your concentration after a touchdown, after a big play. Stay focused, stay out there, keep giving 100%. Do not let down because just because we're Brockton is leading by 30 points currently against Leominster, when it comes down to it in the playoffs and if they make it back to the Super Bowl, you can't have any mental lapses.
And, well, let's give Leominster a little credit. They did put the extra effort into going in there and try to block that point after. Like, again, something you rarely see. It happens every so often, so.
Yeah, take nothing away from Leominster because Leominster is coming here. They really kept pace with Brockton in the first half, showed their tenacity as far as being able to get it done.
So Brockton will kick off. We have a new kicker.
Fumble.
Brockton
Brockton
gets
has the
it.
ball.
That was number 6, Stephen Thoyo, a junior who had the kickoff. It wasn't pretty, but it sure did throw off the Leominster special teams, and they fumbled it, and Brockton recovers. So the offense has a chance to get out there and show their stuff again, and I'm sure we'll see some of the second stringers in there to do their thing, and I'm sure we won't miss a beat with these guys. There it is on replay, and it was hard to see what happened, but basically, I think Leominster was caught off guard with the funny kick. With 2:44 left on the clock. A 30-point Boxer lead. Quarterbacking now for the Boxers is number 16. That's Matt Rubinsky. And big number 25 for Brockton. Rumbles down Jamar Green, 5'10", 210-pound.
Flag on the field.
Fullback. And let's see what the flag is. Holding on the offense, which isn't a real big surprise as you got new guys in there. So that'll bring it back, but it was a nice play anyway by the second squad.
Steve Roy on camera. Looked like the cameraman almost got run over. Seemed like every time Steve Roy's on camera, he got run over. But anyway, the backups need to stand up and be a little bit more focused.
Handoff goes again, this time to number 23. Lorenzo Cotton. Nice carry for about 7 yards. So it'll be second and about 3 yards to go for a first with 2 minutes left on the clock.
And good run there by Lorenzo.
So here come the Boxers. Again, Matt Rubinsky at quarterback. Oh, no, that's not Matt. That's number 7 now at quarterback. Vaughn Askew.
And Askew hands it off to number 25, Jamar Green, who is able to move the sticks.
First and 10 for the Boxers with 1 minute and 26 seconds left, and the clock is running.
So the sophomores and juniors are getting it done.
Double wide out there at the top of your screen. Quarterback hands it off again to number 23. He's still on his feet and gets a first down. Great effort there by Cotton, Lorenzo Cotton, who's a senior. So he's showing his stuff here in the second half. Again, Vaughn Askew at quarterback, number 7.
And there you see Cotton breaking tackles. and just putting excellent extra effort to move the sticks again.
34 seconds on the clock and running. Boxers are going to come out of here with 8-0. And nobody was fooled there on that particular play as he was taken down for about an 8-yard loss.
And Anthony Mastra Pasqua got the sack. And our next opponent will be Pinkerton Academy in New Hampshire on the 5th of November.
So that's the ball game, folks. Time has run out. The players have run out onto the field. Boxers still undefeated, 8-0 here late in the season.
700 wins and counting. Think they can go go undefeated until 800?
Well, if they play a game like this, like they did tonight, where the mental errors were very minimal.
Very minimal.
I'm sure Coach Peter Colombo is very proud of his team to have them really, really focused in this particular game, because early on, Brockton scored. Leominster comes back. Brockton, it was like a ping pong game in the first half, and Coach Colombo brought him into the locker room and told him just to wear him down when you go back out there, and you will get your reward.
Yeah, and one thing the coaches Colombo do is they make adjustments. You know, if the opponent is able to get some things done in the first half, for some reason they're just not able to do those same things after they come out of the locker room.
Okay, so there you go. Brockton with a big win, 51-21 over the Leominster Blue Devils. And we'll see you next week. See in a couple of weeks with Pinkerton Academy. I'm Miles Jackson and Brian Madden.
Oh, and for you Leominster fans that are watching the game, your next opponent will be Milford Academy.
So everyone have a safe Halloween weekend, everybody. Good night.